a chicken today. So bloody cheeky. But it's funny because it's kind of true. So I put a poll out on Instagram and I asked how many people charge based on their value added and how many people essentially are charging per hour. The question I am asking really is, have we taken the time to value our time, and have we thought of a strategy to get that value to go all the way up? Can you share with us how you've done that? What formula have you used? Because in my young mind, I have just realized that I had never really taken the time. So when someone would ask me the question, what's your cost? How much do you cost? I would go into a state of shock. I would go into a state of panic, and I just didn't like that question. I don't like that question. Until now, if I'm being honest, I still feel very uncomfortable answering that question, and I feel very uncomfortable sending invoices out to clients. Like, I just feel like, ugh. Is that not a direct contradiction to me saying that I'm here, I have a service, I'm offering up that service, and I'm confident in my service and in my product? Move back. As you guys know, I moved to Rwanda to explore opportunities. My hashtag was no shame in the game. I was just very determined to explore all the opportunities available to me. I was super yeah, there was a bit of ego involved. I was super eager to afford myself the opportunity to start my own business, become an entrepreneur. I felt this burning urge. I feel like, you know, we're kind of like conditioned to start your own business, become a billionaire, have a baby by me, baby. One thing I didn't account for was the fact that employing people was going to be an opportunity for me to have a different perspective on myself, having been employed. My whole duration of my life, or my working life in England, I was employed. I never had the opportunity to employ. And my mindset was very much from the perspective of being employed. In moving here and having the opportunity to start my business, which then tanked because one of the skills I did not have was the skill set to employ, the skill set to manage employees, to manage conflict. I had always been, you know, like a worker bee. I'd never been queen bee. Well, actually, still queen bee, but I just never sat at the leadership table. I had always just been at the bottom, worker bee, told what to do, paid per hour, and I'd never negotiated that fee ever in my whole entire life. I still haven't ever negotiated that. Yeah, so moving here and having the opportunity to employ, not only employ for my business, but also to employ in my home, a house manager. Friend of mine calls it, which I like. Yeah, I hired one, and it was just such a roller coaster because I could every day see in her a young me who worked at H&M like at 17, didn't really give a shit about, honestly I didn't give a shit. I was just so excited to be employed, and I just calculated my life based on hours, like how many hours do I need to do to get that. I never really dove deep into how did I quantify what an hour of my life in that space was actually worth. So what I'm trying to say is, up to Angela, what the hell are you really trying to say? Damn, girl. Whenever I've been working in a fixed paid whatever job, whatever they advertise the salary to be, I feel like lucky to take it, like lucky to get it, and I've never pushed back. Never ever ever have I pushed back. I just was unaware of my value added, I realize now, and very unaware of my values on a personal level, like on an identity level. I didn't know, like, my value is that I will always be honest. That wasn't my values. It wasn't. I'm gonna tell the truth. It wasn't in my top, like, you know, 3 things that no matter what goes down, how it goes down, I'll always be honest. I don't even think I really had any values set in stone, honestly. My mindset was also always, I'll go with wherever benefits me at the time. One of the conditions of taking the job was I had to work Thursday evenings, and I had class. and I was actually going to private school, so my dad was paying for those classes, and I was leaving an hour early every Thursday so I could go to work for £7.50 an hour. My dad had probably paid that teacher well more than £7.50, but to me at that time, my hour was obviously, that was high value for my hour, £7.50. It's actually sad now that I think of it, but so yeah, I could always see a version of myself in her, because she just was very much like, I'm here, tell me what you need. She'd be eager to learn, and sometimes she'd want to take initiative, sometimes she didn't really give a shit, sometimes she'd only be interested in stuff that she was interested in. She'd ask for me to add value to her life, but she wasn't necessarily adding value to mine. And when I say that, I don't mean to diminish the work she was doing. Like, she was here on time and doing what she needed to do. Sorry. She wasn't invested. That's the word. She wasn't invested. She wasn't investing.
For example, if she says to me, I teach 5 languages, or I speak 5 languages that I'm going to be able to teach your child during the days, instead of just kind of keeping an eye on him, I will be teaching him his 1, 2, 3s. I've done a course in first aid, so if anything goes down, I invested in that course so that I can be of added value, and so that you can add value to my pay. The perspective is like, I'm just here from 8 to 8, and I just do what you tell me to do. So if you want me to learn ABC, I will. Otherwise, I'm here for you to use as you like. So now I'm the one like teaching her all the things. I'm the one like, this is how you should teach him, this is how often you should teach him, here's a schedule, here's a routine. Basically, I'm paying for arms and legs and, to some degree, a mind. I think what I'm trying to say is,
I realized in that moment that she wasn't able to ask me for more money. Not only did she not value her time enough, because I really think I wasn't paying her fairly, but my mind's like, was I meant to tell her I wasn't paying her fairly? I don't think she had taken the time to value her time and to figure out a strategy in which she could make that time more valuable. That's what it is.
Are you charging for IP and the results of that IP? Are you investing in your IP? Or do you charge for your manual work? I know that work is a combination of both, and I had a lot of people who share with me on Instagram, I do both, I take both into consideration, and then I cost based on that. But then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not here to say what's right or wrong. But if you do both, can you share the formula? How do you determine how much of that cost is based on, like, I'm about to make you 700 million and this is how much work it's going to take me? Because if you're in the perfect job for you, the manual work that you're doing is not back-breaking to you, whereas it might be mad crazy back-breaking to me. If you're a photographer, if it takes you an hour to go to the place and take your shots, should you then just be charging for your hour on a base rate, like say $50 an hour? Or are you just gonna gas and be like, oh, it takes me 3 hours to find the perfect shot, and just basically faff about and pretend that you're there for longer than you need to be just to collect that 150? Or can you just go straight to like, it's 150, but instead of taking me 3 hours, it's gonna take me 1 hour because I just got that eye? Like,
I can do 10 times more things in less time and give you more value and bring more value to myself. Duh. And I know these things probably sound like so like, duh, didn't you know that? But I really didn't know. Like I knew, but I didn't know, if that makes sense. I didn't know how to put it into practice. I was so morphed that I couldn't even think that, I should go and get this education so that I can add value in this way. Not that I can just have a certificate, like, hire me because I have this certificate.
In school, like, I don't need school, I'm a millennial, I don't need that, I can be self-made.
Self-made, babe. Have you invested in value added? Have you negotiated based on value added? Have you, taken time to dive deeper and understand your values? Have you found a way to communicate those? Are you even in an industry that aligns with those? Like, sis, I struggled for literally like 3 years to price my intellectual property. to me it comes easy, to the next person it might not, but I'm not going to charge less than, because I've now realized that it is part of my embedded values, and I can guarantee you added value. That is in fact why I can guarantee you added value, because it is embedded in my psyche, you know. And obviously there are ways that you can make metrics, there are ways that you can show that, there's ways that you can explain that, there's ways that you can prove that, but you first have to be aware of that. And I've just got that, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My big age, I've just understood that concept. I get that a lot of people do kind of like baseline jobs, like if you're a teacher and it's kind of like, this is the price what a teacher costs per month. Another teacher might just be teaching shit, or not a very good teacher, and get paid the same as a teacher that's like great. And like, then I get that it's the position of that great teacher to go out and look for a better school which will value or will find added value in a great teacher. That there's the whole morals aspect of like, I don't want to leave the children behind, and I don't know, say people. Then you have to check in with your values, you know. Get me? See where I'm going with this now, guys? Are we together? Yeah. I don't want to pretend that I have answers, because I don't have any answers, but what I can tell you guys is I have questions, loads and loads of good questions that I ask myself and send myself into oblivion thinking about. But I just now want to share those questions. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you feel. I want to know if you think I'm like completely psycho. Actually, I don't care if you think I'm psycho, but I want to know if you think that this has helped you and you're actually thinking, actually, or if you're thinking, sis, where have you been? This has been common knowledge. And if it's been common knowledge, at some people who've been sharing this information, because I really truly didn't know. The next time you guys are negotiating your salaries, next time you're going for a new job, next time you're setting up a new business, next time you're in this space in general, think twice. Next time you're employing someone, like I now know, like sis, when you come to the interview, talk about your value added. Tell me how you are bringing value to my life and making my life easier, simplifying my life, because you have invested, these are your values and you have invested in them and you're using them to add value to me. If you know someone who's kind of going through this process, it's just not gelling, like it wasn't for me, and it was really honestly leading me to a really deep frustration. It birthed an ugly anxiety that paralyzed me essentially in my business and in my endeavors to sell IP. It's just like I could never get a break. I do all the graft to get to the point of like, cool, I want to hire you, how much do you cost? And then it would just send me into like, I can't even explain. But now that I'm aware of my values, I am so aware of my added value. Like right now I'm just like, ask me. And the thing is, if you're not ready to pay it, it's all good, because I am aware. I'm not gonna like faff about like, yeah, let me put the price down. Yeah, I can. You know these people who go from like, it's 1 million. You're like, I'm going next door. It's 200,000, bro. Your values are obviously money. All you care about right now is getting cash. No, because that's not one of my embedded values. And now, because I'm so aware of my added value, I'm good. If I cost 1 million and you don't want to pay it, please, it is okay. It is no beef, it is no anxiety, it is no stress. Someone will appreciate my added value. Someone needs my added value, and someone's willing to pay that. And now I'm like, duh. Where's this information been all my life? I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, so as I was saying, share this with someone you think needs to hear it. Like the video if you like the topic of discussion, or you liked how I presented it. It really does help my channel grow. And subscribe to the page so we can keep discussing. Cool. Bye!